Now, let's talk about that storming of the church in Minneapolis. I played footage of that last night. Just incredible scenes to see these anti-Trump, anti-ICE protesters storming a church. They were joined by Don Lemon, and here he lectures the preacher about what Jesus would really want.
What do you think of this?
I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. So,
but there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here to worship Jesus.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why we're here.
Okay.
That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
I mean, the nerve of him saying, "Oh, don't touch me," as he gets into the man's personal space, telling him what Jesus would really want. There are calls now. People are irate about this. It's like they've crossed a line. And there are calls for everyone involved in that action to be investigated, to possibly be charged.
There are Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon, head of the Civil Rights Division, is exploring the FACE Act, which is about protecting freedom to worship and religious freedom. Don Lemon and the others are, of course, going to argue freedom of speech and the First Amendment, and that will run its course depending on how far they prosecute. But this did disrupt a place of worship during a time of worship, and so there is some argument there that legal scholars are saying there might be a case. I do think the Trump administration also understands the power of setting examples, like making examples of people, and you get one or two high-profile ones like this, since Don Lemon is involved. It could be a deterrent. I don't know that. That will take a long time. I think the other issue, too, everybody knows this, is Don Lemon is looking for his second act after CNN, and so he just wants to go where he thinks there's conflict and a viral story, and insofar as that goes, I guess it's working. He's in the news a lot.
Well, it's working. He's got superstar Nicki Minaj weighing into this issue. She's attacked him personally, and she also posted this image from inside the church. You can see there, looks like parents comforting their child, the terrified kids in there. She wrote, "The world is watching." Kosha, Minaj has really leaned into defending Christians and Christianity. We saw her talk about persecuted Christians in Nigeria, and now churchgoers in Minneapolis.
And Don Lemon probably didn't see that coming, because you're right, superstar with many more fans online than him. She is leaning in, and it kind of links to the previous topic, too. Another example of somebody from the entertainment industry daring to buck the trend or, come out in support of religion. You see them here and there, but it used to be anathema. It used to be career suicide. To do that, I guess she's, too big to cancel. And it is refreshing because she does lend a different credibility to the cause. She brings a different audience that's maybe more open or willing to listen to her than somebody, of the right. And I think it's a good thing.
Now, we're seeing these protests ramp up. Obviously, a lot happening in Minnesota, but also elsewhere in the country. They have a day of protest coming up in the next 24 hours. How do you see that impacting the midterms? It's months away, but does it help Donald Trump, or does it paint a picture of chaos and disunity, and is it just going to help the Democrats really get a fantastic result come November?
Yeah, you put your finger on a key question. I think I was looking at some of the polling where 67% of Republicans are fully in support of it. They want all illegals out, not just violent illegals who went on to commit violent crimes, but all illegals. That is a massive shift. The party was not there even 10 years ago. But it was something like 50 to 55% of the country actually thinks that ICE agent went too far. They see Renee Good as a little bit of a victim. Even if legally that may not be the case, just the optics of it. So that's tricky. It's pretty split, and there's a big contingent of people. It's all Democrats and independents, which are important in the midterms, that don't like this and don't like the idea of armed agents out in the streets, even if they're justified.
About 2020 and that whole summer of love we had with the BLM riots across the country, $2 billion worth of damage, more than a dozen people killed, many more bashed. And though I would imagine most of the country wouldn't have been supportive of any of that, it did paint a picture of chaos, and I think it helped the Democrats, and it seems like they're trying to emulate that come the midterms.
And when you get something like this, these conflicts are bound to happen, even if the ICE is in the right legally, just in the court of public opinion, they are able to make hay of it. So I think that, coupled with the economy and other issues that are maybe not going exactly as the Trump administration and Republicans want, it's going to be very, very tricky, the midterms. We don't know how it's going to go.
No, it's way too early right now. But let's have a little light relief courtesy of Town Hall Media and Tim Walz, Tampon Tim Walz.
I would not put it past this administration to target midnight mass services amongst folks going to worship.
Renee Good! Renee Good! Renee Good! Where are you? Where are you? Where are your people? Why are you not at Wimble every day fighting for the humanity? You drink your coffee, you got your jewelry, you have your nice clothes, but what do you do? What do you do to stand for your Somali and Latino communities?
It's always the way with the left. It's all about projection. They are guilty of precisely what they're accused their political opponents of doing.
Always. And Tim Walz, I think, what did he say in the debate? Knucklehead? He tends to be a knucklehead. So he did not pick the best example there, and the timing couldn't have been worse. He is in hot water. He really, this whole gigantuan level of fraud that's coming out of Minnesota while he presided over that state as governor, we are just at the tip of the iceberg of that story. And he is implicated, whether by actively being involved or just being incompetent, whatever it is, in some way he's complicit. I think he is worried about it. And you can see the panic a little bit.
Absolutely. I think the best case scenario is he's hopelessly inept and had no idea what was happening under his watch. That is the best case scenario. Yes. The other option is he's complicit and he could be facing some serious charges. Now, before you go, the issue of biological boys and men in women's sport has been spoken about a lot recently. The Supreme Court has heard arguments in 2 constitutional cases regarding the participation of transgender athletes at the K-12 and college level. Do you expect the court to settle this matter once and for all? Are we still going to have the states doing their own thing and the Trump administration doing its own thing?
I think the result is due in June, July, in the summertime. And the reading seems to be, people expect that 6-3, the conservative majority, will uphold the current ruling, which is that those 27 states, the red states, essentially, who banned this, can do so. And it's primarily on the core argument that they're bringing. And also on top of that, there's a federalism argument, too, that it should be at the local level. People are still debating this. We wish they weren't, but they are. And so let the states have the power, which is good that at least those Idaho and West Virginia, who are the plaintiffs here, will come out victorious. However, the other 23 states who have not banned men from participating in girls' sports, they will continue to do what they're doing. There's a big case down the road that they're going to hear where would they nationalize that ban? That one, it looks like even the conservative judges won't go there and they'll rely on the federalism argument, which will mean that you'll have more of the red part of the country looking red and the blue part of the country looking blue. And life is very different if you live in Texas versus California.
Fascinating. And yeah, listening to some of those arguments being put, a couple of those Liberal judges, I mean, you just have to wonder how they ever made it onto the Supreme Court. The questions were just so infantile and almost embarrassing to listen to the exchanges. Kosha Gada, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Pleasure.